everyone to our midday stretch break. I'm really excited to be offering this class for you guys. It's something I've developed based on the feedback I've heard from many of you who have taken some of my other classes before. But for those of you who are new, what you're going to need for today's class is just a chair that you can sit with your feet on the floor. You'll also want a little bit of space to move around, and so maybe a little bit of space in front of you, but otherwise we're just working with our body weight. Nothing fancy to get started. And if you're able to have your videos on, that's wonderful. I love to see you guys. I will also give you some real-time feedback about form. Just make sure that your camera is oriented towards your workspace, so towards your office chair or your desk chair, whatever it is that you'll be using. And that way I can really give you some feedback about form. The other thing to double check and make sure of is that your name on your Zoom account matches your first name. And so if you are not sure, you can always hover over your own picture. Sometimes it will show up as iPhone or a list of numbers. If that's the case, you're going to want to switch that to your first name. You can also add in where you're calling in from. And in order to do so, you'll click on the three small dots in the top right-hand corner of the screen. From there, you'll see a little drop-down menu appear, and you can click on the button Rename and then type in your first name. As we are getting set up here, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves in the chat, you can let me know where you're calling in from. And you can also let me know if you had something awesome happen to you this week. I'd love to hear about it. So you can write that in the chat. If you've never used the chat feature, that is in the bottom part of the screen as well. There's a little thought bubble. And from there, you're going to click on that button and you can send a message to everyone. You can also send a message just to me. So welcome already to Torva. To Tatum's. Welcome everyone. Thank you guys for joining. We'll get started in just about 10 minutes. So plenty of time. Feel free to work on your setup. And if you have any other questions, you can send them over to me in the chat ahead of time. Awesome. Hi there, Michelle. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Leslie. Wonderful. Hi, Sarah, Danielle, Liz. Debbie, a nice fellow Massachusetts resident. Hello. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Hi there, Donna. Teresa asked a good question. Should my feet be flat on the floor or is hanging okay? You do want to be able to have your feet on the floor. If you have to kind of scoot forward to the front edge of your chair to get your feet on the floor, that's totally fine. But you do want to have a contact of your feet on the floor to do a couple of the stretches that we're going to do today. You can kind of follow along with your feet dangling, but it's going to be much easier and much safer to have your feet on the floor. Awesome. Hi, Jane. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. A few housekeeping things. I will keep everyone on mute throughout this program so you guys get the best sound quality during the class. But like I said, I'd love if you can have your videos on, go ahead and set that up. Just make sure it's oriented towards your workspace. If you can't have your videos on, that's also fine. We will make sure that you can just follow along. In fact, I'll get this set up to spotlight my video. That way mine should show up on the big screen here. And then when we get a little bit closer, if you guys would like to follow along with everyone as opposed to just watching my video, you can always switch it back to the gallery view. So a couple links that I'm going to share with you guys. Let me just pull those up and I'll post them into the chat. The first link I will add to the chat here. Let me just give this a little title so you guys have that. The first link is to the fitness store. So the fitness store is a list of the products that I use and I recommend for my patients and my clients. So if you're new to any of my classes, this may be the first time you're hearing about that. The link for that is in the chat feature right now. It should be right at the bottom. And in that, I also recommend a couple of ergonomic pieces of equipment for your work from home setup. I have some things on neck pain and back pain, so definitely take a look if you're interested in updating your work setup at home. The second thing that I'll post is the Video Hub. So let me go ahead and pull that up. The Video Hub is what we use to give you guys the opportunity to take classes on days other than Thursdays. So every Thursday we have live classes all day, but we do record all of the classes and we upload them to the Video Hub. And the Video Hub contains classes from all the way back to when we started the Community Online Academy back in March. So there's tons and tons of content on there. And so let me go ahead and label this Video Hub. If you enjoy this class and you want to go back and rewatch it, or you'd like to check out another one of my classes, they are all on there. You can search by class title, and you can also search by instructor. So lots of great things to check out. That's a common question I get, so feel free to take a peek. That link is also in the chat. Hi, Maria. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Peg. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Terry. Thank you guys for joining, for saying hello. It's great to see so many of you already. What I'm going to do, so for those of you who are new to the Community Online Academy or new to one of my classes, you can wave and say hello if this is your first time taking one of my classes. Awesome. Hi, guys. One thing that's really important to me is that we collect feedback about these programs. And so actually the feedback from participants in my other classes is part of what helped me to build and shape this particular class. So I'd love to hear from you guys what you like, what you didn't like, and what you want to see more of. And we do so through an app, and the app is just the easiest way for us to collect information all together. And it's not just my classes, it's for the whole Community Online Academy. So while we have a couple minutes before we get started, I'll share my screen so I can show you guys the app, just in case you don't have it. That way you can have it set up at the end of class. So let's go ahead. This is the Video Hub here that I just shared the link for. And we'll bring up instead this slide here, which shows the feedback app. So what you'll see is a QR code, one for the App Store and the other for the Google Play Store. Those QR codes will bring you directly to download the app, which is called Feedback Labs. And if you've never used the app before, you're gonna just need to make an account, which is the same, using the same email address that you use for your Perks at Work. It'll be the same one that you use to sign up for this class. And then you'll just verify your account and create a password. I'll leave this up for a couple of minutes for those of you who are using the QR codes or who would like to download the app. And just to note that if you have any technical difficulties with the app or with the Perks at Work platform, even with Zoom, you can always email COA helpdesk at nextjump.com. They are very responsive. They can help with any technical issues you're having. If you have a question about stretching, about spine health, about anything related to this class, send it to me. I'll be happy to answer those questions. We do have time in this session for a Q&A at the end of class as well. So I'm going to leave this up for a few more minutes here. And once again, if you have any questions, you can send them over to me in the chat, and I will read those right up until we get started. All right. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Brian. Hi, Debbie. Jill, Lori, hello. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for saying hello. Great to see so many of you. I'll leave this up for just another moment. If you are just signing in, what you'll need for this class is a chair that you can sit in where your feet rest on the floor. And that doesn't mean that you have to be sitting all the way against the back of the chair. You can be sitting right on the front edge of the chair, but just something where you feel like you can get your feet on the floor. And then you need a little bit of space in front of you to move around. Otherwise, we're just working with our body weight for this class. So a couple questions in here about what is the tag to leave feedback. I'm going to give that to you guys at the end of class. This is just up here so that you can leave feedback if you don't have the app at all, just to get set up. But I will give you a QR code for the specific meeting tag for this class at the end. So we'll have that all set up for you. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen here. And let me go ahead. Oops. Okay. All right, so we still have about 3 more minutes before we begin. Thank you all for introducing yourselves on the app. Let's see here. My video should be on the spotlight, so you should have my video on the big screen. You can see my chair is back there. You do need a chair for this class. If you are able to have your videos on, it's wonderful. Just make sure that your video is oriented towards your workspace, so that way I can give you some feedback on form if needed. And if you're just following along with your video off, that's absolutely fine as well. Like I said, I will be answering questions at the end of class. We'll save somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes towards the end of the program to answer questions that come up. So feel free to write them into the chat at any point. I won't read them during the class, but I will read them all afterward and give you, I'll try and give you all answers depending how many questions come up. All right, so we're gonna get headphones in so we get good sound quality here.
Okay. Terry asked a great question. Can I use my work chair? Absolutely. So we actually designed this program to be done. You could do it out of your work chair. And that was a question that I got pretty frequently from some of my other classes. Can everybody else hear? I'm getting a couple. You guys can hear? Okay, awesome. So if you can't hear, go ahead and try turning your audio off and back on for those of you having difficulty. But I did design this class. I have to admit that I was a little bit hesitant to teach this class about chair stretches. Part of the reason being is that I think it's really important to get out of your chair. We're all spending so much time sitting. But I also realized that I think we don't always have the option to get up and down from our chairs. Sometimes all we can fit in is a little bit of work from our office space. So that's what this class is designed for, is for you guys to have some exercises that you can do in your office chair. So long answer to a short question. All right, just 1 more minute before we get started. I know that we have a couple more people still signing in, still getting set up. All you'll need for this class is a chair where you can get your feet resting down on the floor, and you need a little bit of room to stand up and move around in front of you. Not a lot of room, but just a little bit of space. So if you are in a tight zone, that's okay, but just clear a little bit of space in front of your chair, and you should be good to go for this program. Okay. All right, so it is 3 o'clock on the dot Eastern time here in Boston. So I would like to get started so we can get the most out of this class. Welcome to those of you who are taking my class for the first time. My name is Allie. I am a doctor of physical therapy as well as a nationally certified Pilates instructor. I have been practicing here in Boston over the last 5 years, and I own my own practice here, as well as teaching with the Community Online Academy every Thursday all day, and I have been since it started back in March. So for today's class, this is a new program we're going to be teaching. This class is designed to be done from your office chair. And like I said, I was a little hesitant because I like people to get out of their chairs, get moving, because we're all spending so much time sitting. But I was able to design this class so that there are a bunch of good stretches, a bunch of good movement to help your body stay flexible and stay moving throughout the course of the day, even if you don't have time to get down on the mat and do some mat work. So with that being said, you do need a chair, and you need to be able to get your feet flat on the floor. So if your chair is adjustable, you can always lower it down or lift it up, find a comfortable setup. My goal for this class is to have us moving for about 20 minutes or so. And I wanted to get that movement part of the class in and relatively concise so that this is something you guys could replicate on a regular basis throughout your workday. Now, that being said, we're going to spend the last little bit of time answering any questions that come up from this program. because we are movement-based in this class, I encourage you guys to please listen to your body and take any options for modifications that you need. I'll offer a number of ways to modify, and everyone's bodies are dealing with something slightly different. So please listen, use your body in the way that's comfortable for you, and that way you can leave this class feeling a little bit better than you came into it. So let's go ahead and get started with our movement part of our class. So we're gonna find a comfortable seat in your chair. And I'm choosing to sit up at the edge of my chair. That way I can feel grounded with my feet on the floor. You can choose to lean back in this initial part if that's comfortable. I just want you to find a position where you feel like you can relax, get centered, and get connected to your body. So once you have found your comfortable seat, you can gently close your eyes here and start to connect with how your body feels in this moment. And know that there is no right or wrong for how your body is feeling. We're just here to notice it, to get connected into our movement. So start to think of growing tall through the top of your head, like someone is pulling a little string all the way up from the top of your skull up to the ceiling. And as you start to sit up tall, scan your body from the very top of your head all the way down to the tips of the toes. Notice any spots of tension you might feel. Notice any differences from side to side. As you sit up tall in this long alignment, notice if you feel more body weight on one of your hips compared to the other. See if you can start to find centering, pushing both hips, both feet down into the floor while simultaneously lifting your spine up tall. And as you sit here and get connected to how your body is feeling on your chair in this moment, I want you to tune your attention to your breath. And if you all had 2 minutes a day to do something positive for your body, I would encourage you to focus on your breath. You can change a lot about your spine health when you just tune your attention to how you are breathing. So we're able to breathe in 3 dimensions. Our body can breathe up high in our shoulders. It can breathe wide out to the side in our ribs. It can also breathe front to back in our belly. Now this breath pattern up high in our shoulders, that's a pattern of breathing that we use in times of exertion. So let's say we just went on a long run, we're gonna breathe relatively heavy with our shoulders. However, when we sit in a more slumped position, the other patterns of breathing get restricted. And so we end up breathing up high into our shoulders more than we need to. That ends up causing tension, tightness, and fatigue in our neck and shoulders. So as we sit here today, we're sitting up as tall as we can to free up space around our rib cage and our belly. I want you to bring your hands to your ribs and your belly and start to take a big, deep inhale breath in through your nose and an exhale breath out through your mouth. Try that once again, a big inhale breath, opening up, expanding your belly, expanding your side ribs, and exhale to let it go. Imagine your trunk like a cylinder. As you inflate and fill up your lungs with air, that cylinder is opening in all directions. And as you exhale, that cylinder is narrowing from the front, from the back, allowing you to lift your spine tall. Inhale breath in through the nose. Allow your belly to relax. Allow your ribs to open. And exhale, feel that air resting at the bottom of your lungs start to leave. We'll try 3 more breaths like this. You can imagine your lungs like a balloon, and like you're filling up that balloon from the bottom to the top. And as you exhale to let go, all that air rushing out together, out through the mouth as though you are blowing through a straw. 2 more. Take a big inhale, expansive breath, opening up. Exhale to let it go. And last time here, take a big inhale, opening up. And exhale, gently releasing. Now let your arms dangle by your side. Let the weight of your hands just take your shoulders out of your ears. With your arms dangling by your side, we're going to start to draw some big shoulder rolls here. Now, as you draw your shoulder rolls, I want these to be exaggerated, but I want the rest of your spine to be still. So if you looked from the side, I would not let my head come forward or my whole body move. I'm going to sit as though I am sitting up against a wall, moving just my shoulders around this nice stable axis of my trunk. 3 more. 2 more. Last time here, good. And then we're going to reverse those circles. So we're just starting to bring a little bit of warmth in through the shoulders. By allowing our arms to hang by our side, we get that nice traction from gravity at the shoulder joint to pull our shoulder blades down away from our ears, giving our neck a little bit of length. 3 more. And 2. Excellent here, guys. Last time, and let it relax. Now we're going to open up, starting to bring some rotation into our spine. So open up your left hand out to the side. You can show me your hand like you're kind of opening up in a V position, just the left hand. Then you're going to take your straight right arm, reach towards the left, like you're going to give it yourself a high five, and then open up, reaching out towards the ceiling. Rotate down, give yourself that little high five in the left hand, open up and rotate towards the side. Exhale as you turn and twist. Inhale to open up. Now you can make this movement as big or as small as you feel comfortable. So if you cannot actually tap your 2 hands together, that's okay. This is targeting our upper back, our thoracic rotation. And thoracic rotation is where most people are stiff when it comes to sitting at the desk. Gently allow your head to follow your eyes here, your hand with your eyes, and that way your neck will find a gentle rotation as well. Twice more. We open and softly close. Last time here, we open and gently close. Shake out your shoulders. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So we turn our right palm to face forward, reaching down, shoulder away from the ear. Left hand is going to turn to twist, tapping the left hand to the right, and turn to open. Now it's normal in this thoracic rotation movement to have a lot more range of motion on one side than the other. We tend to be a little bit more flexible on our dominant arm, and that's normal, that's natural. Just notice it, work within the range of motion that is comfortable for your body. As you're sitting and rotating here, see if you can feel the grounding of both of your hips and your feet down into the floor. This is really an upper body movement here. 3 more. That's it. 2. Once more here. Open up and let your arms relax down by your side. Now from here, we're going to take this into a little bit of hip stretching. So I'm going to start with my right side, crossing my right ankle on top of my left thigh. Now, if you cannot get here, you're going to walk your left foot away from your body until you can rest your right ankle on top. If this does not feel like a stretch, walk your left foot a little bit closer towards your body. From this position, sit up as tall as you can. Now, this may already feel like a stretch in the outside of your right hip. If it does not, or you'd like to deepen that stretch, keeping your chest tall, gently hinge your hips forward. So from the side, I am not slumping and rounding forward. I am keeping this flat spine and just tipping that flat back forward. That helps to minimize the compressive force to our spine and maximize the amount of stretch you feel on the outside of the ankle. On the outside of your hip here. Allow your hip to relax. If this feels pinchy or painful, back off a little bit or slide your left foot farther away to take away some of the stress on that right side. Send your breath down into the outside of your right hip. We'll hold for 1 more big breath in here and another big breath out. And then go ahead and place the right foot down. We're going to cross now the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Now, again, you might have 2 very different sides here. So if you need less of a stretch, walk your right foot away from your body. If you need more of a stretch, walk your right foot closer. Stack your spine up tall. Your shoulders should be right on top of your hips, and you will feel that stretch on the outside of your left hip. Keeping the spine tall, you can gently start to hinge forward. Now, I don't need to go very far on this one to feel a stretch. That may be different for you. Work within what's comfortable for your body. We'll take a big, deep breath in here and a deep exhale breath out. We're going to do that once more on each side with an option to add on here. So this time we'll come back to that right ankle, crossing over the left thigh. Restack. Hopefully on this second time you feel a little bit looser here, keeping that spine nice and tall, finding that soft, gentle stretch. You can add that gentle tip forward. We'll try 3 big deep breaths here before we add on. Taking that nice inhale in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth, release. 2 more, inhale, breath in through the nose, exhale, breath out and release. Last time here, take that big inhale, breath in. As you exhale to release, you're gonna cross your right leg all the way over your left. From here, take your left hand to the outside of both of your legs and rotate to look behind you, reaching your right hand back. So I am twisting my chest towards the right, keeping my feet grounded on the floor. Now I want you to really push into that left hand. If you push your left hand outward against your legs, that's going to help you give a little bit more leverage to this stretch. Now, if you have shoulder sensitivity, softly bend your elbows here. Take a big inhale, get taller as you rotate, and exhale to let that go. We'll go back, uncrossing the legs to the left side. So take that left ankle up right on top of your right thigh. Again, stack the spine tall, keeping the chest long and lifted. Gently tip the spine forward, again, to stretch in the outside of your left hip. We'll try those 3 big, deep inhale breaths in, focusing right back to that breath work we did in the beginning of class, filling your belly and the lungs deep with air, exhaling to really let that air go. Sometimes our body will hold on to little bits of air in our lungs. Let's try and get some cleansing breaths here, really refilling with fresh air and letting it go each time. Once more here, big inhale, breath in. Exhale, gently let it go. You're going to cross that left ankle now all the way over to your right. Take your right hand to the outside of your legs and twist open to the left, sitting up nice and tall. This is still thoracic rotation, so still that upper back rotation. It's normal, again, to have those side-to-side differences. Now, as we twist, a lot of times people end up slumping a little bit to get farther. I'd rather you have less twisting with a really tall spine. That way there is minimal compressive force to our back here. Get tall, tall, and taller through the top of the head, and then return back through the center, grounding both feet down on the floor in front of you. All right, so we are gonna get up out of the chairs a little bit to do some standing work. So when you look down at your feet should be right underneath your knees, about a 90-degree angle at your knees. From here, we're gonna reach the fingertips in front of us. I want you to aim your nose over your toes and stand up tall. From here, let your nose tip over your toes again and sit back down. Reach forward, stand up tall, reach your arms down, and lower back to your chair. So we're just doing kind of a basic squat here. And as you sit back in your chair, I want you to feel like you are in control. And when you stand up, I'd like you to feel your feet pushing down into the floor while at the same time lifting your rib cage up off your own hip joint. So that same feeling we had when we were sitting earlier, but now just making this movement a little bit bigger. Work within your body's comfortable range of motion. This doesn't have to be fast here, and this doesn't even have to be as big of a movement. So if your shoulders are sensitive, you can keep them down by your side. Aim that nose over your toes, press your hips forward, hinge your hips back, nose goes over your toes once again to gently sit back down. Now we have an optional add-on here if you guys would like. So we'll work through that on this next set. That optional add-on is to reach forward, lift the arms up tall. You're gonna twist your arms, rotating to the left, both arms up through center, twist and rotate to the right, both arms up through center, and then we sit back down. Again, nose over toes, reach the fingertips tall, gently twist to the left, arms lift up, gently twist to the right, arms lift tall, and we sit back down. Modification with bent elbows, we reach up, elbows bend like a goalpost, lift tall, twist, and elbows bend. So that's for any shoulder sensitivities here. And again, your twist is within your body's comfortable range of motion. Feet are still planted on the floor underneath you, grounded down. That's it. We'll try 3 more like this. Lift up, gently twist, reach the arms tall, center, gently twist, reach the arms tall and center, lower down. 2 more, come up tall, arms are long, gentle twist and lift, center, gentle twist and lift, center. Last time here. You guys are doing wonderful. Get on up, gently twist, reach up through the arms, turn, gently twist, and reach up through the arms. Stay standing. So now that I have you up in the standing position, we're going to do a couple calf raises. Calf raises are one of my favorite quick tricks to get the blood pumping through your body again. Your calf muscles actually work like a little pump to return blood to your heart, especially if you're someone who tends to get a little bit of pooling of blood down in the ankles over the course of the day. So nothing fancy. Look down at your feet. Make sure they are parallel to one another. Grip the ground with all 5 toes. Start to lift and lower, lift and lower. So this is gentle and slow. I want you to think about lifting and lowering up and down from a sheet of glass. Think about pressing all 5 toes and then lowering down slow enough so that that glass is not disrupted at all. And that's how our calf really works to create tension to pump blood back to our heart. So this is one of my favorite tricks for the middle of the workday, or if you're standing in line at the grocery store, you're waiting to get your body warmed up again from the bottom all the way up. Now this is also good practice for our balance. I'm going to show you guys from the side. I notice a lot of times people lift and tend to lean backwards. So you can see how that uses a little bit of momentum. I want you to think of just lifting up through the top of your head. So there is no movement in the rest of your body. It's just your ankles. I know those calves are starting to burn. Mine certainly are here. We're going to try 10 more. Staying tall through the top of the head. If you'd like to add a lift of your arms for these last few, you can do that here. Get taller like you're reaching for something just out of touch. 3 more, lift and lower. That's it. 2 more. Last time, lower it back down and shake it out. Woo! So we're going to get a full body stretch here, standing in our last standing stretch. So ground your feet down. I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see. Feel your feet grounded underneath you. We'll reach the arms up tall overhead. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, starting from the top of your head, dive down, rolling 1 vertebrae at a time, allowing your head to hang heavy, feet reaching down. You can add a soft bend to your knees and shake your head out. Take a big expansive inhale breath in and a big exhale breath out. Another inhale breath in. On this exhale, push your feet into the floor and gently curl the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, reaching the arms tall overhead. Again, imagine your spine like a candy cane. You're diving up and over, making that candy cane shape, pushing into your toes and your heels at the same time. Head hangs, we shake our body out, maybe even shifting our hips side to side, taking that inhale breath in and an exhale breath out. Again, another inhale breath in. On your exhale, press your feet into the floor and gently curl the spine all the way up, reaching tall overhead. We have 1 more time like this. Big, long stretch. Inhale. Exhale, gently dive the spine forward. Again, pressing through the broadness of your whole foot. Maybe adding that soft bend of the knees at the bottom if you need. Try an inhale breath in, an exhale breath out. On that next inhale breath in, we prepare to exhale and then press into our feet, reaching the arms tall, long, and up overhead. Excellent. We're going to finish our movement-based part of the class back down into our chair, so find your comfortable seat once again. Let me just make a quick camera adjustment here for our final exercise. Awesome. Okay, so in your seated position, this time feet should still be resting on the floor, but you're going to open up your legs a little bit wider than hip distance. Stacking your 2 hands on top of one another, allow your head to dive down just like we did on that last exercise. If you can get your hands on the ground, that's wonderful. If you cannot, reach until you can. If your hands are easily on the ground, you can walk them out in front of you, stretching your fingertips out long. Take an inhale here. Exhale, walk your hands back and reach the fingertips up tall. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale, stack the hands, reach down to the floor. Walk your hands out to stretch the fingertips long away from you. Inhale. Exhale, walk back. And reach the arms up tall. Last time here, inhale. As you exhale, gently dive forward. Find that soft stretch, forward bending for your body. Walking out, finding that nice expansive breath. And then gently coming back on up, this time bringing your legs together to finish with our community breath. So feel your hips sinking down into the mat. Feel your rib cage and spine as tall as it's ever been. We take an inhale breath in, reach up, reach long, reach tall. Exhale, let it go. Another inhale, big reach, stretch long. Exhale, let it go. Last time here, another big inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, let it go, and give yourself a little pat on the back for taking a break during your workday to do something really positive for your body. So that was just a little over 20 minutes of moving. I'd like to spend the rest of our time